Hi, you. Okay, I have my interview questions for you. What questions need to be answered before you start designing an experience? The general questions I always like to ask is because usually in the past I have gotten documents of what the content is and any other little details about what's going into it, but they never, answer the questions of what's the purpose of this piece? Who's going to see this? Who's the audience? What are the goals of this piece? What are the business goals of this piece? Are there any constraints? Is there a deadline that is, sooner or later than what we would normally do? Um, is there a budget problem or not problem? Is there a budget constraints within this project? So those are the main questions I like to ask. And then depending on each project, I'm sure I have little follow-up ones that are detail specific. Next question. When creating your user flows, what user goals did you choose and why? The three goals I chose were logging a breakfast, creating a recipe within the app, and then logging an exercise. And I chose those three because in user interviews, those were the main things that everybody wanted out of a health and fitness tracking app. To log food, to log their exercise. And I did the recipe because there was a lot of answers that said, I don't have a lot of time. I need to be able to do something quickly. And while it takes a little bit of time to log a recipe, then moving forward, you always have it. So, it's something that saves time. So those are the three goals I picked. Can you describe a time when the requirements changed in the middle of a project and how you handled that? I don't know if I've ever had a project that the requirements changed in the middle, but I have run into just like maybe they were pivoting to a different goal or and usually that included maybe some content change, which then might change imagery. But all in all, how I handle it is just how I normally am. I'm very flexible. I'm very adaptable. Ask my questions, where we're going, what's the new goal, all of that, and just do it. I mean, what are you going to do? So yeah, I guess I handle it calmly and I will ask if it's not offered up when changing it. I will ask, why are we changing it? If it's something I don't feel is worthwhile or a good idea, I will absolutely speak on that. But then ultimately it's, whatever the client or the customer wants. And if they have a good reason for it, I can't fight them on that. Finally, what design tools do you use? And when would you use one tool or method over another? I'm a big fan of Adobe Creative Suite. Illustrator is my favorite tool by far. I really, really understand it. I took a class at a local community college on it, so I really got an in-depth feeling for it, and I know how to use it now. So Illustrator is always my go-to tool. However, I'm very comfortable in Photoshop and InDesign. And Photoshop I usually use just for editing pictures for the main part that will then I usually use or drop in my Illustrator file. But for InDesign, I will use that for large scale, PDFs or books, and because that can speed up the process. You can have those pages already locked in with a certain something that'll be on every single page, something that makes it faster. So yeah, that's it. Have a nice day.